disjunct. And it says not, and we already know that both says keep this stuff together. So this and y, close this, close the first disjunct, or so now I have another disjunct, I'm starting a disjunct, it's z and it's over, and then close. Okay, so that's how I do it if I were doing it mechanically or via an algorithm. Could you reduce the number of parentheses? Yes, you could. This would be acceptable. Okay, but you see why I did what I did, right? This is overkill, it's safe. This is living dangerously, but also correct. And much more elegant, as it were, but gosh darn, let's just make sure we get the right answers first and foremost. Okay, so that was 11, I think, right? Okay. 13, and I have not both L and M, comma, only if, which one am I on? Z? Yeah, okay, all right, so, all right, so look, comma, only if, we know only if is a logical operator, and the comma signals that this is the main logical operator, and we know only if is a conditional. So let me just write that down, okay? And if we remember our whatever follows if rule, it goes like this. Whatever follows if is the antecedent, so that's the antecedent, unless it's an only if. Oh, so it's not the antecedent, it's the consequent. So Z is the consequent of this conditional, and so I'll just write Z behind the hook. That means that all of this is the antecedent to this conditional, so I'm going to put parentheses around it to make sure it stays together as the antecedent. Now it says not both, so I'm going to keep these things together, L and M, close it, there we go, we're done. Okay, so notice what I'm not trying to do. I'm not trying to read it and comprehend what it says and then rewrite it, okay? I'm just doing this mechanically. First identify the main logical operator and go from there. Do we have unnecessary parentheses? Yes. We could reduce it to this, L and M, then Z. That would be fine. But this is also perfectly fine. Either of those answers is perfectly fine, okay? That was, which one was that? 13? So 15. Now, you should notice the difference between like 13, 14, and 15. All I'm doing is moving around the both and the not, okay? And so now I'm on 15, and 15 says both not L and M, comma, if Z. All right, so the first thing to realize is comma if signals that that's the main logical operator, which is a conditional. So the first thing I'm going to do is write a hook. I think it's time to find a better pen. I'm going to write a hook. And if we use our whatever follows if rule, whatever follows if is the antecedent unless it's an only if, but this is just the plain if. So this is the antecedents, and antecedents go in front. So Z, that's the antecedent. That means all of this is the consequent. Well, what does it say? Both, not, Z, and M. Then I'm done. Okay. Now it says both not. Just do this. Both parentheses, not negation. L, L. Okay. Some people want to say, doesn't that mean both not L and not M? No, it does not. The not applies only to the L, not the M. Does everybody understand that? Just do this mechanically, don't think about it, and you'll get it right. That was 15. Okay, so let me do 17. It says either not J or both K and L. Okay. All right. So there's no comma paired with a logical operator, so that doesn't tell me what the main logical operator is. Okay. So what do I have? I have either. So I'm starting an or, and until I hit the or, this is the first disjunct. There's the or, first disjunct, not J. So I've ended the first disjunct, or now I'm starting the second disjunct, and it says, oh, both, so I'm going to put this up, K and L, so that ends the K and the L, it ends the disjunct, ends the disjunction. Okay. Do I have more than enough parentheses? Yes. You could reduce it to not J or K and L. But if I was doing this mechanically, this is what I would come up with. Does everybody understand that? Okay. That was, which one was that?
17.
17. Either not. Okay. 19, the last one here. 19, and we have X implies Y, comma, unless D. Okay, comma, unless tells me that this is the main logical operator. Okay, so unless I said always translate that as an or. Oh, can't see that. So over here's a disjunct, over here's a disjunct. Okay, unless that's D, and over here X implies Y. Well, that's a conditional. If you go back and look at the conditional, you see that it's there. And I want to use my whatever follows if rule, but I don't have an if. So I'm just going to ask myself mentally, does implies, is that equivalent to saying if, or is it equivalent to saying then? It's equivalent to saying then. So what I have is this, if X, then Y. So whatever follows if is the antecedent. Boom, that's what I get, 19. Okay. Okay, so for the test, you're responsible for section 2.1, 2.2. Did we skip 2.3?
Yes.
Okay, and 2.4, I had 2.5, which we just did, and 2.6. Okay. Now 2.6 really isn't anything different than 2.5. The only difference is it's, got the full sentence there. And so all you have to do is put in the statement constants and then finish the translation like we just did, right? So it shouldn't be any harder. So I'm just gonna do number 1, and it says L likes Airedales, so that would be A, and those are defined above, but Bob likes Beagles, and then it says comma, unless, and then it says both. Catherine has a Catahoula, that's C, and Darla has a wiener dog. Okay, so there's number 1. Comma, unless, that tells me that's the main operator, and I said just translate unless as or. That means all of this is the first disjunct, so I need to keep that together. And all of this is the second disjunct. So A, but means and. So A and B, or both. I keep it together, C and D, boom. Do I have extra parentheses? Yes, I can get rid of these. So 2.6 shouldn't be any different from 2.5. It's just that you have one additional step. You have to put in the statement constants. And then you just do the same kind of translation stuff as we did in 2.5. Okay? Now, there is one thing that I have not explained to you. And you do not have to do 2.7, nor 2.8, nor 2.9, okay? Those are not on test. There's one thing that I haven't yet to explain, and that is this. Suppose I have Al and Bob like Airedales, or Cliff likes lizards. Okay, whatever. Okay. So Al and Bob like Airedales. Well, that's equivalent to Al likes Airedales and Bob likes Airedales. And then, what's this supposed to be, or, right? Or Cliff likes lizards. So we end up with this, A and B or C, because there's no punctuation in there to tell us what the main operator is. Everybody understand that? So now I'm going to tell you something. So either this sentence is ambiguous or there's a way to know what the grouping is. And here's the key. Notice that Al is a subject and Bob is a subject, and like Airedales is a predicate, right? And Al and Bob share the same predicate, like Airedales. When two statements share the same predicate, they get grouped together. So that is the proper translation. Does everybody understand that? Because I'm going to group subjects that